The Royal Rumble was last night. Who won? Who lost? What do we think?
Well, it wasn't last night. A few days ago. But
Well,
for us, it's last night.
It was last night. What do we think? Check it out.
What's your bacon?
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Welcome.
Yeah.
We're, it's just us. Again.
It is. It is.
These
just
shows
us.
are working out really nice. I think people actually enjoy them.
I enjoy them.
I enjoy them. I enjoy because, like, we get to talk about things that we usually would. And then then because we were doing so many of the guest podcasts, we kind of fell back on that. And then sometimes it happens in the wee hours of the night after 2 or 3 episodes.
That's true.
And you forget these conversations. So now we're getting to document them again.
And also, we're able to put this out kind of week of
yeah,
the thing we're talking about.
yes, which is really cool.
Whereas before, it would be something where it was like, hey, for us, it was yesterday. But for you, you're listening to this 3 weeks after something happened. So it's cool. I like being topical on that, too.
I do enjoy that.
I want to point out something first, though.
Go ahead.
This stand, if you're watching, we have this little stand. You put this little stand here to hold up our sponsor, Mythical Beards.
Yes,
The sticker we got from them. And nice stand. We were balancing that on our drinkwildbills.com sponsor cup before. Now
it's got its own stand. It's moving on up. If you go to mythicalbeards.com, use a promo code BACON15, you can get everything 15% off. Yeah. They have like really good dry colognes. Mm-hmm. They have regular colognes. They have beard oils, beard balms, if you will. Yeah, I love Mythical Beards.
I'm not wearing any of it right now. Normally I would be.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting because I've got some like gross growth that's happening right now. It does not look good.
Okay.
But I was waiting because I recently received in the mail Manscaped's new beard trimmer and beard hole setup thing.
So
do they have a fancy name for it?
It is the beard grooming kit. It's right over there.
Yeah.
Right over here. They have a brand new beard grooming kit. Now, I will say, I used mine yesterday.
Nice.
Because
you looked
the hedger.
Very nice.
Hands down, dude, this thing is awesome.
Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Nice.
The everything from we're gonna do an unboxing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring you what I used to use, like some of the things I used to use. I feel super confident using this particular beard trimmer.
So I'm not going to show you any of it yet.
I did trim it a little shorter than I wanted to because I'm not, like they have different settings. They have like 20 some odd different settings on the one thing. And I went a little shorter than I wanted to.
Okay.
But it did a great job. Nice. And I don't have like the weird, the stragglers, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to keep your beard thicker, you go down, right? You're just trimming the outsides.
Right.
And then sometimes with like what I had, it's like these little forky things, and it just kind of goes down, and it makes sure that you don't push it too far to your face. Right. But it doesn't get those little strays that kind of like stick out and stuff.
Some of them sometimes, yeah.
This did none of that. It
really?
felt, dude, it's great. So we'll talk about that more on later on and stuff like that. Yeah,
cool. I'm gonna check it out. I might do a video of me using it.
Oh, okay.
Just to kind of like show it being used.
Yeah.
Just because I think it'll be funny because I also just for men my beard because I have too much gray in it.
Yeah.
Which bothers me and I don't like the way it looks. I don't care if you judge me. Whatever. It's totally okay. Mm-hmm. But if I shave it off, it'll look pretty funny because I'll have like a gray patch in the middle.
Go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, get 20% and free shipping off of your order of their new beard products, as well as our favorite crop mops.
Yep.
And the Perfect Package 4.0 with the lawnmower where you... So they keep your balls clean.
Yeah.
If it's good enough for your balls,
shave your cheeks.
It's going to be good enough for your face.
Shave your beans and your cheeks.
And now the fact that they have 2 different razors is great because now you're never, ever going to go balls to face ever again.
Right. Right.
I mean, some people have separate razors.
That's like ATM in the worst way.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So I do know that Dax Harwood of FTR.
Yeah.
I listened to his podcast. Also, they're also sponsored by Manscaped. And last week's episode, they weren't talking about the beard trimmer, but they were talking about the lawnmower.
Yeah.
And the beard trimmer is the hedger. Okay.
Right.
They were talking about the lawnmower.
Which makes sense because the lawn's on the ground.
Yeah.
That's your ground level.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
The hedger is the...
and the hedger's what it makes the rest of your house look nice.
Pretty.
Yeah,
it makes it look pretty.
Yeah.
He was talking about how he used the lawnmower on his face. And he was like, but I use it before I put it on my balls. Well,
right, but then...
guess what?
Then it's still after
You eventually put it on your balls.
Right.
So...
And then...
This prevents you from ever having to do it.
You never have to do that.
So, yeah, sweet. We have other sponsors.
Yeah, check them all out at bigismypodcast.com for the most up-to-date codes and the most up-to-date discounts as you can get.
Yes. But, yeah, the Royal Rumble. Now, I don't know, like, we got off of the WWE and wrestling stuff for a little while on this show. And part of that was also because I was very, very down on the product. I did not enjoy it for a long time, and we recorded a pretty drunk.
That's why it didn't air.
Yeah,
because it was just drunk.
Yeah, and you were trying to convince me of why I need to like WWE, and I was like,
no, I was trying to convince you of why I enjoyed WWE, even when other people weren't liking it.
Oh, yeah, but it turned into this is why you need to like it.
I don't think that's what it was.
No, you weren't pushy about it, but you were like, when I explained why I didn't like something, you said, well, this is why you're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
a few drinks I might do that. That's fair.
Sit down now.
Yeah,
I
could be like that.
But that being said, this new Triple H era and ever since SummerSlam, I have kind of gotten back on the WWE train, and it took a little while. I think I started back on Peacock when War Games.
Okay.
I was off Peacock for a few years.
That's right.
And
that's right, because I was telling you, like, you started watching bits of it on YouTube and stuff. You were finding the spots that people were liking.
Yeah.
And,
And if it was a Raw or SmackDown, I'd watch it on Hulu.
Right.
What I love about Hulu's Raw and SmackDown is hour and a half.
No commercials.
No commercials.
No commercials. Raw's shorter. I wish I got all of Raw just without commercials. I know they cut out stuff that they're trying out of the less important stuff, but that stuff to me sometimes leads somewhere. And there's also some acts that I enjoy just because I enjoy it.
But a lot of the times, like 20 minutes after it airs, they put it on social media.
That's true. That's true. But see, I'm a fan of somebody I like the Maximum Male models.
You're right.
Right? They crack me up, but they cut them off Raw.
They cut them off, but they also put tons more content out on YouTube and stuff like that because they have pre-show stuff. It's whatever. But
Goofy wrestling, man.
I am back in the saddle with WWE. And I got to tell you, there was some people who gave some negative scores on Royal Rumble. I loved it. In fact, I think the men's Royal Rumble this year might have been one of the best ever.
I will take away the might because I totally think it was one of the best ever.
You got to think back 35 years and like Ric Flair winning that's like that was a really great Rumble. But this Rumble, there were no dead spots.
Right.
There were memorable moments. There were storylines. There were, top talent.
Well, they also did two things that I thought were a good indicator of the overall change for the positive that has happened over the past few months.
Yes.
One, they gave the audience what they've already basically told us that we were going to get and what the audience has told them they wanted. One of the things that the audience told them they wanted.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the Royal Rumble, Spoilers are coming.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's say
yeah.
that now.
Move on.
It's literally been days since it came out, so there you go. If you don't like wrestling or you didn't watch the Royal Rumble and you don't want spoilers, turn it off now. Okay, so they gave us Cody winning.
Right.
Instead of at the end swerving us out of it somehow. Mm-hmm. Right? They also were really smart, I think, to not put Sami Zayn in the Royal Rumble.
I was going to talk to you about the placement, and that's one of the things I have on the notes is specific placement. Okay, so despite it being one of the best Royal Rumbles ever, and if you put it on last, you wouldn't be disappointed, right?
Correct.
3-hour pay-per-views are great. Now they're going for 5 hours and change, and at the end of the night, you got a 60+ minute match. I think it lasted like an hour and a half, hour and 25 minutes, something like that. It's hard to keep the fans happy, and I think a number of things. One, well, first off, the very end, you couldn't have that.
No way could you have
during the show
Right.
and then go to the Rumble.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, I think that the placement of it was strategic because in years past, like you said, Sami Zayn not being in the Rumble. If Sami was in the Rumble, the whole 52,000 people that were in that building would immediately revolt against Cody.
Yep. And if Cody hadn't have been number 30...
Oh, yes.
Everyone would have thought The Rock was coming.
Exactly. Yes. I think the rumors and the things with the surprises, and every year there's a different surprise and this and that. This year, what was it? It was just Booker. And he was in and out.
The women's match had more surprises than the men's match did.
Right. But I think, I've heard criticisms of, there wasn't enough surprise. It was like, there doesn't need to be a surprise if the match is good.
Yeah, if the storytelling is happening and the match is good and you're telling continuous... There were so many different stories being told in the Rumble that I just thought it was great.
And it hit all those... It checked all those boxes. It was tons and tons of top talent. It was big guys. It was literal big guys. There was a lot of fucking meat in there. There was, it teased a Brock Gunther thing.
Yeah.
You had Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in there for a long time carrying some stuff. It didn't feel like they had to fill things. Like they didn't go, okay, we could possibly get some surprises. What were the surprises this year that everybody's worried about? Sammy.
Right.
Rock. Zack Ryder, and was there somebody else? I feel like there was some. I guess there was like a little bit of rumbling about Austin or whatever.
Yeah, there was something about that, but I didn't think that was going to happen at the Rumble if it's going to happen.
Right, but I if you have a bunch of these blank spots, and then you just you're not able to execute, and then you throw in a whoever, just a guy, another, break up a tag team and throw him in, or you could have put in a Dolph Ziggler or whatever. It would have way less impact, right? Because now you have all these top guys, all this huge talent, and
Ziggler
now you got a space.
Ziggler wasn't in the Rumble, was he?
He wasn't.
I didn't even notice.
And then you got to just do all this fill in the blank kind of stuff. Yeah. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. I mean, they did have, and they worked it perfectly. They put in, the broken up tag teams. And then when a Brock came out, and in years past it would be like, hey, Brock's gonna come out, and it doesn't matter who you have in that ring.
Right.
It could be all of your
in the ring.
Top guys, your top talent, no matter what, and he'll clear the ring, and then he'll wait for people.
He's clearing the ring. Right. We didn't have that moment at all this year.
It was great.
I'm so glad we didn't.
It was great. You know what? He did clear the ring. He dumped out Gable. He dumped out this guy. He dumped out that guy. And that's believable, and that's great. And that gives him his shot. But, yeah, I think it was just really well done all around.
I love that what we did have this year was Sheamus and Drew McIntyre sitting together in a corner every now and then, trying to make each other laugh because you could see them just cracking up or reacting to things that are happening in the ring. Like just watching Sheamus react to Booker T doing a spinaroonie.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know, it feels like there's just more personality being added to things.
Yes.
It's not just hitting spots. And I don't know if it's a general mindset just because I've liked the product more lately. I love the fact I'm one of those people that I don't want to see The Rock at WrestleMania fight Roman Reigns. I don't want to see Steve Austin fight Brock Lesnar.
Nope.
That's the rumor. And if there was no story already with Brock Lesnar, then yeah, give it to me. That's great.
Yeah.
But they're telling a story with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
I like Austin better than both of them, but if you've got a story going,
give me a story.
Give me the story. Rock against Roman, like you've got Cody or Sammy are two vastly better choices storyline wise.
Yes.
And it's not even storyline wise like you can hiccup over it and then pick it up later. It's like these things are happening and culminating all at the same time. And that to me is like great planning and great writing, and you've caught on to things. And I like the idea that they don't have to rely on bringing in Rock or Austin because they don't have anything going on for certain people. They have stories. They're telling more than one, which I love. I think that's great. Who was your like? There were a lot of standout moments at the Royal Rumble. Like there's always a lot of things. Yeah, sometimes it's the Kofi spot, which we didn't get this year, and hopefully he didn't hurt himself too badly.
He didn't. He came out on Twitter. Yeah, he came out and he was like, 2 years in a row, botched a spot. But this was a nasty fall.
Yeah. His head rocketed back.
Well, it hit the
table.
The table,
right?
yeah.
I was like, oh my god, neck injury, whiplash, something.
Yeah. He's
and like, cool. I'm glad he's okay. That's the main thing, you know. But so normally you'd have the Kofi spot. You had the Naomi spots for a while. Before that, it was the John Morrison spot.
Right.
The clever ways to not get eliminated. So that was something you always looked forward to. Or you looked forward to whatever big guy would come in and clear the ring, like Brock and stuff like that.
I never loved those moments.
I never loved those moments either, because it was always people that I liked better getting thrown out.
Yeah.
I did like, the only time I ever liked that was when Austin came in that first Royal Rumble that he won.
Yeah.
And he was throwing people out, and then he was sitting in the middle of the ring like sitting on the ropes
and
looking at his watch. Yeah. I thought that was great. I thought that was cool. But at the time, who didn't love Austin? You're talking about the legit number one guy. It wasn't like they just put a big dude in there.
Yep.
So this year they had they really didn't have that many crazy spots. They had one that I think will live on in and be replayed for the rest of time.
Yes.
Whether Logan Paul and Ricochet ever do anything else or get any higher in wrestling at all, they will be on highlight reels for the rest of time.
Splat.
Dude.
Yeah.
I was like, what just happened? Like, I saw them, I was like, okay, they're going to both springboard in and do something. It didn't even cross my mind that they would be capable of both jumping so far that they met high in the air,
very high,
in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
Splat body on body. Car crash. Plane crash.
Complete.
I was like, what just happened?
That was awesome. It was an awesome spot. But I feel like, and I've heard some people actually criticize this year about not enough story. I think there's a ton of story in there. You had little things like the Rey Mysterio not showing up and Dominic coming out with his mask. You had
furthers the story.
Edge. You had Edge coming out and
destroying Judgment Day.
And then Rhea comes out, and then Beth comes out.
Beth hits Rhea, which carries over to the women's.
It's another thing. You had you had Logan Paul faking people out, and you
Yeah.
know what? Everybody was like, Cena Logan Paul. I think it might be Seth Logan Paul.
Me too.
I think that's
Me too. I was like,
very
planting
viable
seeds, man.
thing. You got the furthering of the Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar
Yeah.
story. There was so
Well,
much story.
You had storytelling of Sheamus and McIntyre saving each other, but then that ending up costing the both of them.
Right. Yep.
So,
So
we
there's
could
like
even lead to Mania and have Sheamus versus McIntyre again because there could be a seed planted.
Yeah,
there.
I think that showing their closeness was again story,
Yeah.
and
And they kept the
then
rest of the Brawling Brutes out of it entirely.
Yep.
Right. That's another good reason to have so many people on the roster that are believable. You know.
Exactly. And then there's the Cody story. There's the Gunther story.
I was gonna say that superstar of the Rumble for me was Gunther.
Came in at number one.
Dude,
Dominated.
not only dominated, but never appeared on screen and looked like he was either resting, wasting time,
No.
or waiting for something.
Nope.
Now, I will say some of Gunther's timing in different spots, and I don't know if that's on him or who he was with, was a little shaky, and I do not like, and far be it from me to be an armchair guy that's going to criticize how somebody does
I think I
something
know where
in
you're
the
gonna.
ring.
Yep, go for
But
it.
I do not like how anytime Gunther's about to be clotheslined over the ropes,
He's already
he
halfway over.
turns to face the ropes and goes over.
I
don't like
think
that.
I think that that's just something that he's either not comfortable with, or maybe he's had an issue in the past where something has happened.
Yeah.
I listen. It looked stupid, but
hey,
but honestly,
maybe-
that's like nitpicking.
Maybe that's
from me.
his Bret Hart face first turnbuckle bump.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe that's just how he does it, and it's different, and it looks different to us, so it looks weird to us.
Right.
Could be. I mean, Bret taking a chest first turnbuckle bump just made it look more vicious to me.
Yeah.
This makes it look like you're about to go over the rope.
Yeah.
Now, I like that he saved himself the first time,
Yeah.
and so I was like, okay. But then this, it was just, I don't know,
Yeah.
nitpicky
Yeah.
for me. But Gunther was my, and I'm not even a huge fan. I wasn't a huge fan of Walter.
Oh man, I loved Walter.
I thought he was cool, but I just thought he was this big dude that would just hit people for real. And I was like, okay,
Go
he
back.
slapped people in the chest. Great.
Go back and I was there. I was actually at the match, NXT Brooklyn. I forget which WrestleMania it was, but him versus Pete Dunne.
Oh, I saw it. It was great.
Phenomenal match.
Great.
And
Absolutely.
the guy, he treats the smaller guys the same as he does the big guys, and he's able to tell a great story.
It took me a while to get him. It took me, honestly, when I really started getting him, was him and Sheamus.
Yeah, brutal.
In the
Brutal matches.
Clash of the Castle
Yeah.
thing. I just thought that match was like, Sheamus, I think maybe he's not as underrated now.
Right. It took a while for me to like him.
I always liked him. I always thought he was cool, but I never thought of him as like this dude's like a worker. This guy.
Right.
But man, he's so good.
Yeah.
Like he's so good.
Yeah.
So that's where I started to kind of like, my opinion started to turn on Gunther, but then I was just kind of like, all right, like he's cool, I get it, but he's not standing out to me.
Yeah.
And then him and Ricochet was great.
Yeah.
And I'm not that big of a Ricochet guy.
Yeah.
And that match was really great. It made me notice both guys differently. And then, dude, in the Rumble, like, I became a fan.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching him, I'm like, this guy is an integral part of, and he's so aware of everything that, again, there are times in a Royal Rumble match where it's like, it starts to get chaotic, and you start to see, like, you see people just kind of like taking a powder in the
Chilling.
corner.
Yeah.
And anytime he was on screen, it never looked like that to me.
Yeah.
It always looked like he was he even when he was like down on a knee or something, he was scanning the ring, looking like he was planning something
next,
storytelling.
Yep.
And so he really stood out to me, and I'm so glad that they had him go the distance in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, if it weren't for the fact that like they needed to either give us Cody or Sammy as a winner, man, I wouldn't have been upset with him winning either. I was like, holy shit, this guy got made tonight.
Listen, I liked Gunther back in the Walter days. He was my favorite giant murder baby, because that's what he looked like, a giant murder baby.
He did, yeah.
But and then I got upset that he got skinny and jacked, and he won me over again last night.
Right.
He's no longer my favorite giant murder baby. But
I don't think he would have been coast to coast in the Rumble if he was a giant murder baby still.
Yeah, maybe.
But I tell you what, like him and Cody went another 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was like a regular match.
Like another 20 minutes.
They went a full match,
and like Cody looked a little gassed at points.
Yes.
Gunther had full wind after he set a new record for the amount of time.
Yeah,
in the Rumble.
He beat Rey Mysterio.
And literally at the end had another 20-minute match that was full on.
It was a great match.
And he looked like he could have gone another 20. Like that dude is a machine.
Yeah. I mean, listen, overall Men's Royal Rumble this year was fantastic. I loved it.
One of my favorites.
I do think that it is possibly, again, like we said, it's it might be my favorite. Might be, if not, it's definitely top 3 or 4.
If you're a fan and you didn't see it, I'd go out of my way to watch it.
Go out of your way. Yes.
I really would, and I'd watch the whole thing because, like,
it was worth it.
There was no dead air.
Nope.
There really wasn't. Nope. All right, so let's move on.
Move on. Pitch Black match. That was up next.
All right. I, for whatever reason, really I want the best for Bray Wyatt.
Everybody does.
Right?
Everybody does.
I don't know much about him, the person, but I've really been into everything he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, even the things that didn't work, I was always just kind of like, man, this dude is
creative as hell.
Well, and I, not even knowing whether he was creating it or not at first, just being like, this guy's all in on whatever he's doing. He is completely 100%ing it. So I like that. And then the more that I learned about how much he's involved in what he's doing and how his brain kind of works, made me like him even more because he's so artistic. I thought that finding a way... The thing I didn't like about The Fiend was I thought The Fiend was too... Once you turned the lights on, I was out of it. I was like, now you're a dude in a mask in a wrestling ring, right? You're not a killer. You're not a monster. You're not this. You're not, and it just kind of like it was hard to suspend disbelief at that point. Yeah. And it's also like, how do you do that character as a professional wrestler? He's got to be able to lose
in a real, like, if you're trying to present it as not real life, but there, they talk about wrestling as you need to suspend. You need to suspend disbelief for a little while, but it's still a very grounded world,
right? So it's tough.
It's one of those things where, like, shit, man, Undertaker did it.
Well, Undertaker did it, but he didn't go that far.
True. He didn't. Yes. Okay.
He wasn't a horror movie slasher villain.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, just tough to pull off.
Yeah.
Because you've got this uncontrollable monster villain, yet they pay attention to the rules of being in the ring, and they never attack fans, and they're trying to pin somebody, and you know what I mean. Like there's too many things there to go. This is an unhinged monster.
Right. I think that yeah, when you present it like that, I always thought the Fiend was one of those things where it was like, hey, I'm gonna be nasty, right. and it's not me, it's him.
I like that,
but you're right. Sometimes you can't go too far into that space without things kind of going, well, you know.
Well, because you're asking people that don't occupy that space to act like they do for a storyline or a match, right? You have to have Randy Orton act like he set someone on fire and they're burning in front of him, right? Yeah, and that like you have to, or there's goo coming out of somebody's face, right? You know, and those things. That's where it sometimes it can get a little too campy. I don't want to say too carny, too campy for me. Yeah. If it's not done in a funny way, and it's because then you're trying to make it's like you're trying to make me look at it like it's really happening. It's like, yeah, we all know it ain't really happening.
Right. Now,
but
what about
say,
this new Bray character?
So what I really liked about the Pitch Black thing is that he found a way to create that spookiness in a visual way that could be done by a normal person. You know, he wasn't coming out in a mask. He wasn't turning it. It was like you turn the lights off and all of a sudden all this demonic is on him. They did a really cool quote magic trick of making him look normal and then making him look really creepy and evil, which I thought was great. I think that's really cool. I liked the visuals of that match.
I did too. We could go back in time and talk about the Fiend red lights.
I hate the red lights.
Awful. Because you can't see anything.
Right.
We could talk about the Sin Cara blue lights. Those were equally as awful.
Equally awful, yeah.
But this worked.
Yeah.
This worked really well.
I thought it was kind of cool.
I kind of wish they didn't do it so late in the game, but I wish they used that visual kind of thing with the kendo sticks. I wish they did that a little earlier on.
I did like how it left marks on him.
That's what
That was so cool.
Yes, I think using things that put blacklight paint on,
right? Even the
really
splashing
cool
lconfetti.
Yeah,
you know, it made it look like glowing
interesting.
Something.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
it was
cool.
something that happened. I loved the concept of the match. I think the execution could have gone a little bit differently, especially with the like we said, the hitting with the kendo stick, showing the marks, like the fact that it happened the last 3 moves of the match and then he fucking won.
Right.
You could have utilized that a little earlier on.
Now I wonder though, what did the crowd see? Because that was a quiet crowd for that match.
Well, you know what? And
it was lit for TV.
I think.
So I'm wondering.
I do think that there's a definite possibility that was not a match meant to woo the. Well, it was more made for TV than it was live.
I think it's a big swing, and I respect the hell out of it because they could have gone cinematic and just did something cinematic, but they did something for the live audience too. I don't know how if you were there or you saw it live and you have an opinion on this, let us know. Write us, please, because I really am curious as to how that came across in the arena. On TV, you got the close-ups. You got to see all the drawing on Bray's face. You got to see they did close-ups of his red eyes and fangs and like all that kind of stuff really came across. Whereas in the arena, I wonder if
probably didn't come off
you saw LA Knight's tights.
Yeah.
You know, and you saw that Bray was glowing, but it could have just looked like a thick Jeff Hardy.
Right. I mean, Hold on 1 second.
So I think that that would be an interesting thing to find out, is to find out from somebody who was there what that kind of looked like. Because again, on TV there was so much detail.
Yeah.
There was so many details on his face.
Yes.
There were numbers and words and all this kind of crazy shit that was going on. That I'm curious, because clearly that was cinematically shot.
Yeah.
Or at least in a way that was focused on for us to see. Quick reminder that this show is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, Mythical Beards. Check them out, mythicalbeards.com. You can get stickers, you can get hoodies, you can get all that kind of stuff, but most importantly, you can get shit for your face.
Keep your beard fresh, keep it clean, keep it groomed. If it's good enough for Mick Foley, God damn it, it's good enough for us.
I'm wearing the Kraken right now.
I am actually wearing the Dracula.
Nice.
And that's why I smell like an old-time barbershop.
If you go to mythicalbeards.com and use the promo code
BACON15,
you get 15% off your entire order. The show is also brought to you by our good friends at GrillYourAssOff.com, where you can also get 15% off of your order of all spices, grilling rubs.
they're delicious freaking sauces.
Yes, delicious sauces, all that kind of stuff. Every season is grilling season if you like to cook.
Yes.
So definitely check it out. GrillYourAssOff.com. Use the promo code
BACON, because it'll keep grilling season all year fucking long.
15% off with the promo code. 10% off at drinkwildbills.com, where you can get all kinds of great sodas, which we've seen lots of mixers for. So keep sending them in. Hashtag drinkwildbills. Hashtag what's your bacon. Send us your beverage options.
Of choice.
And also poddex.com. You can see them in another part of the show.
Yes, indeed.
But both of those, 10% off, use the promo code BACON. So
Yes.
check it out. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you got. Use them. Find them. If you can't remember what we just said, go to baconismypodcast.com. Everything's there. Check it out. Thanks for watching.
Yes. I like all that stuff. Now, the stuff that happened after.
Yeah.
Now that was definitely for the live crowd. You had the fireworks, you had the
Yeah, you had the
other
fire, you had the...
Now, I don't know if the crowd saw the puppets up there, the Firefly Funhouse
they weren't
guys.
puppets. They were... Those
Well,
were...
I'm saying the
Oh,
characters.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
But what did you think of that spot?
I thought, you know what? I think that in the dark, it's probably really hard to drop an elbow on somebody.
Yes.
Because that looked overshot, which I'm sure was to protect LA Knight.
Right.
But
right.
it looked overshot, and I saw people complaining about it already. And I was like,
people
bitch about everything.
People complained
like,
about Chris Jericho
come
falling off the
on.
top of the blood
Yeah,
and
you
guts
got a
cage.
guy
and
risking
it's
his
like,
life
you know what, man?
to jump off something.
That ain't easy.
And another guy risking his life to sit underneath somebody who's jumping. Give him a break.
Yeah. I mean...
I thought it was cool. I'm curious as to that story because it's confusing me because Howdy comes out and attacks Bray. Mm-hmm. Bray comes out, says he is Howdy. Howdy comes out to mess with Bliss. Howdy comes out at this and does a dive for Bray. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of like, I'm waiting to see where this story is going, because right now I'm like, okay, what's happening?
I think
here?
there's a lot of things at play here.
Yeah.
The ending to me, kind of, for me, it was like, okay, this is story progression.
Yeah.
It means that all these people exist in one spot, in one world. Maybe you could do like a stable kind of thing, story behind it.
Yeah.
So there are ways, and listen, that would be pretty cool to build a story like that to a War Games. Right.
That whole Wyatt 6 thing that was kind of rumored. And
So yeah, I do like that. Now, you also brought up the next match that we got to talk about.
Before we get there, where do you think LA Knight goes from here? Because he did a great job of building himself in this feud and getting himself over with the crowd and working the crowd.
Okay.
He's a talented dude.
LA Knight is somebody who was misused by WWE for a really, really long time. I think that you could probably draw comparisons to Robbie Roode.
Okay.
So funny enough, I didn't get LA Knight. I didn't get Eli Drake. I didn't get him because, he didn't have a great run in NXT, and he didn't have a great run so far in main roster stuff. But this past Thanksgiving, I could not sleep. And for those of you who have Pluto, Pluto.tv, they have an Impact Wrestling channel. Now, I always made fun of TNA. I made fun of Impact and stuff. I took a great appreciation to the product once I started listening to Jeff Jarrett's podcast. So it made me go, okay, well, you know what? Like, I like a lot of these wrestlers.
Yeah, a lot of
so
the guys in Impact.
Why don't I just check out what they have and some matches? So it was a lot of random stuff, but what made me realize the type of star that Eli Drake / LA Knight was that they had this Thanksgiving Impact Wrestling marathon. Okay. Because their shows were classically on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So they would have this match that was like basically a match that the loser would wear a turkey outfit.
Okay.
And one year, it just ended up somehow becoming the Eli Drake turkey trot of it's something. I forgot the name of it or whatever. Okay. It happened for like 3 years, but he basically hosted it, and it was, once he was the Impact champion or he was in the running for it. Another year, it was just like he just hosted it, and he'd have like 2 teams, and he would do the commentary, and he would do the setting up of the match, and it was just his show.
Okay.
And I watched like 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, fuck, man, this guy is good. Like, I get this guy. He's got a personality. If they let him use that personality on WWE TV, no problem. And that's exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. They took the chains off.
Right.
And they were like, okay, man, do what you do. And he took that ball, he ran with it. Where he goes from here, I don't know. I hope it leads to more TV time. I hope it leads to him becoming.
He just got put through a
stage. Legit heel. I mean? I hope he's never gonna hit the contender for Roman. He's not gonna it's not gonna happen. But I hope he becomes a major player on TV. Mm-hmm. And because he's great. He's really good. He's a really, really good wrestling heel.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious about that because I was like, he did such a good job getting himself over in this that it didn't feel like he was being fed to Bray.
No.
Right? At first it did.
Oh, yeah, because, what had he done before that? He did the models thing.
Right.
Then he turned on them. And then you were like, okay, well, this guy's going to be a face now. And then he became a heel.
Right. So, yeah, so that was a little...
So shit creative.
So I was just wondering, I was wondering what you thought about that. Because I'm like, I wonder where he's going to go from this point. All right, so let's move on.
Moving along to Alexa versus... Bianca Belair. Mm-hmm. Hot take.
Yeah.
I never really liked Bianca Belair.
Really?
Never liked her character. She's very good in the ring. Mm-hmm. She's a good wrestler. I don't like the persona. I don't get it still. I don't know why.
Okay.
But I've never been a big fan of her. It's been better since NXT, and right. I mean they were going the right way with her in NXT, but then all of a sudden just something switched and it just got turned off, and I just don't. I don't know. I don't get her. I don't get her.
See, I have an opposite take because I like her a lot. I think she comes across as talking like a normal, like a person would talk, Like I don't feel like she's reciting. I did in NXT, but I don't anymore.
I don't think I get that, but at the same time, it's like I don't feel like you're reciting, but I don't feel like you're very good either.
See, I do. I like the little things that she does. She has little things that I notice. I like that she wears big enough earrings to the ring when she goes to talk, so that when she is about to get in a fight,
she has to take them off.
She makes a production of taking them out, where she's like, "Oh, bitch, I'm gonna like." Yeah. I love that. I think that's great. I'm like, oh, that's such a great visual thing that is so easy to do, and it's something that she's doing. I think that when she talks, she's relatable. And I think she sounds like she's just talking, which I also like. And I think she's very good in the ring. I think I thought there was something about her when I saw her in the Mae Young Classic. I was like, they said like something about like it was super early. She was super green. It was like a couple months into her learning, and I was like, damn, if this is only a couple months into her learning, she's gonna be great.
And I'm not trying to like draw comparisons or anything like that, and whatever. But she, if that was the case, right? Maybe I'm just drawing comparison and just comparing her to, especially with Jade Cargill. Her first match, I was like, what is happening and why is this like a thing? Now, dude, she's improved like insane.
Yeah.
Insane improving.
Yeah.
At improving and she's only getting better. I don't feel that with Bianca. I feel like there were incremental improvements, and then it just kind of like, okay, she's okay. I feel like it kind of stopped.
Okay.
For me. On the other hand, Alexa. Her wrestling is pretty good. I do think in years past it was better. When they gave her like title runs and stuff like that, I think, you know, maybe she's got her eye on other things that, you know, that she can do after wrestling and stuff like that. I've heard interviews where she's kind of alluded to such things. But, man, when it comes to a character, doing a character-driven story when she's not Bianca's fucking lackey,
right? Dude,
second to none.
Yeah, I like how much she sunk her teeth into the Wyatt storyline from before, and how she really got into all that stuff. I thought that was really great.
And when she came back after Mania and she was doing those therapy sessions, entertaining as hell.
Yeah, I thought
loved
that was
it. Loved it. But then they just were like, okay, well, we'll put you with Asuka.
Yeah, they blanded her out a lot. And I think with Alexa, it came across, at least on TV to me, like she went from, and this is, again, dumb dude in a chair that's never been there, doesn't do it.
Yeah.
But it seemed like she went from being really, really enthusiastic about doing something to just collecting a paycheck and just kind of being there. It just didn't seem like she was super into it. I don't know if that's how it was supposed to come across or what.
I do think it is a little bit, especially towards the end of this past face run, heading into War Games, it was very much painted that way.
Yeah.
That she was just kind of like, I'm there.
Right.
I think they should have leaned into it a little bit more. It would have made the turn that much more impactful.
And maybe it would have made it seem like a storyline instead of making it seem like the person wasn't enjoying her job.
Right.
To me, you know.
Like, I think the way it was painted, you know, I think that people can become very distant.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what they wanted to do. I think they just went too subtle with it. And she and again, I think that she's really, really great with character work. And if she looked like she was in the ring and just completely detached,
It's probably on purpose.
She did her job, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I felt.
I've been less interested in her because of it. There was nothing for me to grab onto where I was like, I wasn't pulling for her because she was a good guy now and got through her therapy and was trying to, you know, like.
You know what?
I disconnected from that story. I thought like, I don't like her theme music, especially when she had such cool theme music before. That weird like bam, 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 that crazy theme music was awesome. Mm-hmm. Her presentation was awesome, and she was like the most over person in the company at one point.
I think
she got like it had to like suck to have when Bray got fired and to know that like every time you went out doing that character, people just started yelling, "We want Bray," and she got the shit end of that.
Yeah.
To the point where they had to cut her off from being that because it was so just connected to him.
I think
that if they're going back to that or a version of that or something close to that, I'm in for it.
Yeah.
But right now my jury is out on whether to be interested in what she's got.
I think this heel turn is like a double-edged sword because I mean Bray is kind of a face. I mean he's considered a face, right?
Yeah.
Howdy, the whole thing, I don't know. I think it's just a very weird like state of flux. I think you have to turn her heel to embrace a darkness, but eventually she'll kind of, I don't know. I think it's just weird creative. I didn't love the match itself because again, it's, you know, it was okay. It was okay. It was after watching the men's Royal Rumble, and you know, it was a okay match.
I will say for how much they both said in the build up to this match, how they were just there to rip each other's faces off and all that
was a bit
of
of a
stuff.
letdown.
Then I just think that then if you go in the ring and you're doing headlock takedowns or you're doing, you know, like any kind of wrestling move at that point, even if you're a wrestler's wrestler, I think that, and again, dude in a chair, but like storytelling to me, like if I think you're mad and you're so mad that you're going to rip my face off, I want you to do what Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar do when they see each other. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it can't be contained. So if Alexa and Bianca were just clawing and biting and punching and there was no semblance of a wrestling match at all in there, it would feel more like what the build-up made me feel like it should be.
Yes.
It didn't feel like a fight. Mm-hmm. It felt like all this anger, and then when they got in the ring, it was like ding ding, and let's have a match. There was bits of aggression in there, and honestly, more from Bianca.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, which I like because I like Bianca. I think she's good. I think she's good at the storytelling aspect of it in the ring. But that's was a little bit of a letdown to me too. So
yeah,
that wasn't my favorite match of the night.
No. Okay.
We should keep it rolling, though.
Keep it rolling.
We don't want another 2 hour...
Yeah. So, next was the Women's Royal Rumble match. I gotta tell you, and this might not win a lot of people over, but, man, I mean, there are some great things in that happened.
Yeah.
There are some fun things that happened, but overall... They need more believable, good talent.
Well, they need to focus on the talent they have and give them more time.
Yes.
I think if you only have 1 or 2 women's matches per show, and they're the same women every time, if it's just Sonya Deville and Charlotte on SmackDown and no one else is involved, and then when they're done, then you can bring in Shotzi and Raquel to do something for a little while, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I think you're missing an opportunity to create a more investment from fans. I think there's a lot of really talented women on that roster.
No, you know what? I agree, and I take that back. They need more time.
Yeah, I just think they need
to
time
get
to tell
people
stories.
invested.
Yeah.
Now
I took the match as a bunch of storytelling for the future, right? I think they did that. Like the Women's Royal Rumble to me was almost we're going to reset some characters and show you some things without having to bring them back on TV a certain way. And then we're also going to tell Rhea's story.
If you look at it from a story standpoint, they did a great job. The match itself, I'm going to be completely honest with, chaotic, messy, and bad. Just bad. It was bad overall.
There were definitely times where I thought people were going to get hurt.
When you look at it from a story point of view, you got your control, damage control, Becky issue. Great.
Well, and damage control literally eliminating almost everybody, working like a team through the whole time.
Which is great.
The most team-like they've been. Really. I thought this was a better outing for damage control than they've had.
I agree. So yeah, you've got that story that continues. I in your notes you got.
I made my list of
Asuka,
dude.
The fact that she came back with that old Japan style, man. If she doesn't start like lighting chicks up and then feeling them up afterwards, what are we doing here?
I don't think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna
Not
get.
likely.
I
But
think we're going to get a mix of the two characters. And right now, the name of her character in Japan is escaping me. I can't remember what it is, but grab it quick. But yeah, when she came out, I love the idea that Asuka needed to go find herself and like went to Japan and found herself, and
I love that.
Came back with this, and honestly, Kana, that's right. Corey Graves sold the hell out of it because as soon as she was coming down and the new music hit and she had the new mask on, and then when she took it off and had the full face paint, and he was just like, I feel like something bad's about to happen, and it was just like, something bad's about to happen, and I loved it. Asuka is one of my absolute favorite wrestlers.
Yes.
Male or female, I don't care.
I agree.
Like, just one of my favorites.
I agree.
Love the presentation. I love the music. I love the look. I love her interactions in the ring.
Her music is a low-key banger.
Yeah. The new one, too.
The new one, too.
Too. The old one was great. I love that old song. And I even liked goofy screaming in Japanese Asuka. I did.
Yeah,
but
there was a charm to it.
But killer Asuka, man.
That's what we want.
That's what I wanted to see, just because she can make everything look so vicious. And it's just like, oh yes, please. So that was exciting to me. I love that Piper Niven's got her name back.
Thank God.
I love that. I love
fucking Dewdrop.
I love that the announcers kept saying, "Do drop it." Drop it. Like, I love that they kept doing little things like that. I like the announcing the whole night.
Let's talk about that towards the end.
All right.
Yeah.
So I love Dewdrop becoming Piper Niven's again.
Chelsea Green coming back.
Chelsea Green was funny to me. I never got her. I still don't get her.
She's a character.
I'm waiting to see more.
She is a character on the indies. You know what? She can actually wrestle. I don't think that she's going to get her wrestler flowers from WWE. I think they're going to go more of that character, that comedy character, because she does it so well.
She got presented that way there. Very spoiled and everything, which I think is cool, man.
But
I think it's cool.
But I do think that she's a super underrated talent in the ring, and I think that it's a mistake if they don't utilize that a little bit.
I enjoyed how they used Nia Jax. And
I
don't like Nia Jax.
I loved how they presented it. I can't stand Nia Jax either. I hope this is a one and done. I really, really do.
I doubt it.
I've heard mixed things about it, but yeah, you know what? Like if you're gonna use her that way, as like, look at this asshole.
Well,
and then
I will say something Nia Jax does really, really well is her on-screen mid-match interaction, her speaking, what she yells when she's yelling.
Yeah,
she's really funny.
Yes,
right. Like I think she's got great comedic timing.
I think so.
I don't think any of those things that became memes were that because Nia just tripped into something. I think
I think
was
it's strategic.
her being her.
Yeah.
I think some of it would probably bets with people in the back that she could say something.
Yeah.
Something, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That was to pop the boys.
My hole was definitely...
That was to pop the boys in the back.
Right?
For sure.
So those things about her make me go I would like to talk to Nia Jax. I bet she'd be super fun to sit and talk to. But I don't enjoy watching her wrestle.
No, because it makes you feel like somebody's going to die soon.
Right, and I would think that was because she's so good. If it wasn't for the fact that a lot of people got injured in a row, is that bad luck? Is that the other people being not great? Is it who knows what that is?
It could be a number of things.
If you have one person in the ring and people consistently are getting hurt in the ring with that person, but those other people aren't getting hurt around not that person, I think then you kind of have to look at it and go, okay, now, hey, maybe she went home and worked on it and trained and got better and
no,
who knows?
she didn't.
I'm
No,
here,
she didn't.
I'm here for it if she comes back and kicks ass. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But I like how she was used. I thought that was great.
It
Literally came in.
It was well done.
And was like, "I'm the shit, you bunch of bitches," and then they all just beat the hell out of her.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Yeah,
it was well done. And then let's just say it: Rhea Ripley winning. That was
Man.
that.
Rhea
Okay,
Ripley's
so
another one of my favorite wrestlers.
so
Men
what
or women, I don't care.
She is great. I do think that was a safe move. I do think that and listen, I don't love Raquel Rodriguez,
Right.
but she could have probably used that win more than Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, but what's she gonna do with it?
Well, I think
What's your
that she's
marquee?
got I think that she's got a ton of upside to her.
Upside.
Again, I don't particularly love her or anything like that. I think she's okay.
I prefer her in the villain role. To be honest.
Okay. I like the heater.
Yeah.
Like the heater is like the heavy to somebody else.
Yeah, I like her as
yeah.
Diesel. You know what I mean?
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
I like that. I don't like the overly smiley.
The
show me all your teeth.
The
smiley.
Encanto.
Right. I'm not as big of a fan of that character. I think
she's like Luisa from Encanto.
So, but I think when you're in this situation, if I'm looking at the Royal Rumble, right, and I'm looking at the 30 women that were in this Royal Rumble and who I thought were legit shots at winning to face either Charlotte or Bianca, right? Because right now, that's what you got to look at.
Yeah.
Do I want to see anyone against either of those two more than Rhea? I don't.
No, probably not.
Right? Because what woman has consistently killed it on TV every week?
See, I think for me personally, I do think that the fact that there are two women's championships and there is space for another woman makes me feel like there are people on the roster that you don't need to win a Rumble to be like, oh, they could be a contender.
True.
Becky Lynch, Bayley, Asuka. Go down the list, right? I think Rhea Ripley is on that list.
I think now Rhea Ripley's officially on that list. I think.
Oh, see, I saw her on that list before this.
I agree.
But I will also say, I wasn't mad that she won.
Yeah.
Because I do think that the women's evolution, the big four, all that stuff, I do think that those guys are kind of getting to the point where they're going to be not phased out, but they don't need to be champion. They're going to become, I think, sooner than later, I think Charlotte is going to become just an attraction, a lot like a Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Just for her longevity.
Charlotte's so Charlotte is so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Than everyone on the women's roster
and most
probably
of the
90% of the men's roster.
Interruption!
I was going to do the hold up. Hey. But that was better.
Nice.
There's no time like today to take care of your hygiene.
Indeed.
And one of those things that can help you, if you're a man or a woman even, Manscaped. Manscaped can help you with their lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah.
Their lawnmower 4.0 has skin-safe technology. It's a ceramic blade. It's waterproof. It's got a nice little LED light, so this way you can see underneath all those crevices.
Shave your privates in the shower in the dark. Don't actually do that.
Don't do that.
But you could.
Yeah, you could with Manscaped.
Because you have a light.
Indeed. And for guys, listen, the perfect package 4.0 is like where it's at for you guys. Because it comes with not only the lawnmower, not only the weed whacker for your ear and nose holes.
Well, we got one. So bring it up real quick. What you also get, so yes, for one, you get the lawnmower 4.0, which is ceramic blades. It's not going to cut you. It's got a guard so you can, make sure that you got a trim in some spots. You got to the skin in other spots. You make sure that beanbag's shiny. We also have some...
Package that beanbag in...
underwear.
The underwear.
Yeah.
It's got the little ball pouch.
It does have the ball pouch.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great.
Separate. It's technology.
This right here...
I like this.
Is for when you are shaving your balls.
Yeah.
It's little placemats, so this way...
It's like a newspaper.
Yeah. But then you just... You shave them, you crumple it up, you throw it away. No mess, no no fuss.
Yeah.
Right?
It's also got some. It's got some funny articles in it.
It does. It does when you read
I recommend you definitely read it, but not while you're shaving your nuts.
No. There's the ball deodorant.
Yes, I use it every day. Crop preserver.
And the crop reviver.
I don't use it every day, but I have used it plenty of times.
It is pretty fantastic. You need that midday spritz.
Yep.
Just go for it. Freshens you up right away.
Who doesn't love a little spritz on the beanbag?
Exactly. And where do I keep it all? Well, right here. The shed, baby.
You know what? The shed is a pouch for the things to clean your pouch.
Exactly.
Right?
I use it personally for my toiletries when I travel.
You do? I've seen it.
I've got multiple. I've got a few of them.
Uh-huh.
So, go ahead, manscaped.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD.
You get 20% off this entire order plus free shipping. Not only can you get the Perfect Package 4.0, but you can sign up for their program where they will send you new stuff automatically.
New blades.
Every month, every 2 months, every 3 months. You decide what you need. If you need new blades every 3 months, they'll send you new blades every 3 months. If you want to check out maybe the crop mops.
I can't talk about the crop mops enough.
They're my favorite thing.
Yes.
Get those every month.
When you come and you hang out with us and we see you and stuff like that, we always have crop mops on our person. So
it's like a business
card,
us. But for Manscaped and not us.
Yes. So go ahead, manscaped.com, promo code BACONPOD, 20% off, free shipping. Call it a day. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And we're back. And in different clothes.
Yeah.
If you're watching.
If you're watching, we are in different clothes. There was a
quick change.
There was a situation. There was a situation that caused us to stop. And then I had to go take care of some business.
Right.
It was my dog having allergic reactions to shots he got
Okay.
that day. So, we promptly canceled the rest of this episode for the day so I could take him to the pet ER.
Yes.
Yes.
He's okay.
He is okay. He's
Which
fine.
is the main thing.
He's back to normal now. This is 3 days removed.
He was barking at me on my way
right
back here, so I was
Right.
like, "Hey, you're good." I
Yeah.
saw him. I checked out his face a little bit through the window.
It's not huge anymore.
He looks good.
He doesn't have hives and stuff. Yeah. So we're good. So
I'm sure we did this in a way that it was seamless. There was probably a commercial,
there was a commercial.
or maybe there was just one of those weird old '80s wavy edits.
Oh, I can add those in. I can add those in too.
I don't know what you did. I'm sure it's great though.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Where were we?
Where were we? We were Ladies Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And Charlotte, she's just going to be an attraction soon.
Yes.
And
Rhea Ripley was the right choice in my mind to take the whole thing. I love that she came in at 1 and did it from 1. Makes her the 4th person in history to do that, something like that, 4th or 5th. It's a very short list. So it they're showing a lot of confidence in her.
yeah,
So I think that is great. She's awesome. So
I agree. Last but not least,
main event.
main event, and this is man.
Well, you know what? There's 2 things here. There's the main event match,
Right.
which was a good match.
It's a good match. Yes.
They didn't do anything crazy. They didn't need to do anything crazy. It was 2 total pros doing
Telling a great
match,
story.
right?
Yeah.
The one thing I will point out is I don't know if I ever want to see that backwards head to the steps
No.
bump
Oh my God.
ever again.
No. He did that once, and I was like, ah.
Yeah.
And you saw that he kind of got his hand back there, so it was like, that was close. And then he did it again, and he didn't put his hands back there, and I was like, no.
Yeah. I don't like that bump.
I don't like it.
I don't like that
I don't
bump.
like it either.
If Kevin Owens listens to our show,
Yeah.
kudos to you, sir.
Or if
you're
anybody that
able to
listens
do
to
that-
our show, anybody that listens to our show that can get this message along
Yeah.
to Kevin Owens.
If you're able to do that with zero risk, it looks amazing. Oh my God. But dude, don't scramble your brains, brother.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorite things on TV.
Yeah, don't do that. You're great. You're too great.
He reminds me of you a lot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Like I get a Wayman vibe from Kevin Owens
Okay.
all the time.
Oh.
And I love Kevin Owens. He's like one of my favorite things on TV.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I definitely
I'll take that as a good thing because
Yeah.
I like Kevin Owens too. So
dude,
it's great.
he's funny. He's the fucking shit, man. And just when he gets mad and he yells,
Oh yeah.
right? Like your frustration. I've seen you at the frustration where a Kevin Owens-esque explosion would do you wonders.
Yeah. That could be fun.
I've seen it there. And I'm like, yeah, he's a KO.
Gotta tap into my inner KO.
Yeah, fight women, fight.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm in.
I like it, definitely. If you agree or disagree, let us know in the
let us know.
comments. Let us
Please.
know if Mike
I
reminds you of
have a
KO.
KO shirt that I have cut off, so I could just I'm in. I'm all in on it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love the match. I
yeah.
love the story. The story is
There we go.
fantastic, and
Dude.
you know, I thought here I was, and I'm happy they didn't, but that whole the whole ending thing, right? It was long.
Yes.
It went long.
It did.
And I'm glad it went long because it added to that tension. It added to that build. I thought they were stalling because they were going to bring Rock out or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad they didn't. I'm super glad they didn't.
Yes.
And the whole Sammy thing, and that was great. But then Jey Uso.
MF and Uso.
Who let's remember, he started this.
Yes. Well, and let's remember how it started. Mm-hmm. It started in a cage in an I Quit match where Jey Uso would not quit. His brother came in to try and save him. His brother who was injured, who then Roman put in like a neck lock and forced Jey to quit to save his brother.
Injured brother, yes.
Right? So he watched a similar thing play out right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And like my brain immediately went to that, and I was like, is WWE
long-term
this
storytelling?
like 2 years long-term?
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I wasn't expecting it either, which is super cool because I was expecting literally them to just all beat the shit out of Sammy, and then we move forward to somehow getting to Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos. Yeah. I was worried a little bit in terms of like, oh man, I wonder if the fans are going to turn on Cody.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I did see Raw last night, so but I'm trying not to factor any of that into any of what I like. I'm trying to stay everything I would have said on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I didn't think so, and my thing was keep them away from each other,
right?
And
as long as possible,
as much as possible, and have them not reference each other.
Well, I think they need to just keep them apart and let that story play out. Now, what? Now let's talk hypotheticals. Where do you bring this story? So, I think the Jey thing is not a complete red herring. Like not I think it's going to happen with Jey, and I think Jey's going to be the guy who eventually goes against Roman, the guy with actual blood, right. But I do think that we are going to get I think Elimination Chamber is going to be Sammy Roman.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
And Jey is going to be in Sammy's corner.
Oh,
and he's going to turn.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to lead to Kevin Owens coming back to help.
See, I could see Jey being in the same position that he was in and having to make the same choice again, and making the same choice again to let it burn longer. So then now Jey is also looking at Sammy with almost a jealousy of like, you did what I wanted to do and couldn't do, and I'm going to take it out on you for it. I see Jey being conflicted with Jimmy.
I see. I really want to see a nice long story for Jey. And,
they have
there's a lot of ways that they can
making
do that.
A big singles star out of Jey.
But I think the way you button this up is by going. Jey turns, they defend the titles at Mania. Mm-hmm. Take him off. Sammy and KO take him off the Usos. As far as Roman is concerned, one of two things have to happen with him.
Yeah.
Either one, he's got to hold on to it for a whole other year.
Okay.
Or Cody takes it.
Yeah,
This doesn't work. This really doesn't work, and I've heard a lot of hypotheticals. Oh, you can take it off him at this, you can take it off him at SummerSlam and this and that. No. That's the way I see things is the biggest culmination does not happen of the biggest storyline of the past, however many years, let's say. You don't finish that up at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think we have a 2-year build already. Now, what's crazy in that is so if Roman doesn't lose the title to Sami Zayn, do you still have as good of a story?
Okay,
because it was never about the championship. It was about Sammy's place and being in. So I think that's a story that doesn't need the title. I think that could really honestly be a thing where that occupies Roman. But
think the thing we've got to remember here too is, even when they were talking about Sammy maybe winning the Rumble and facing Roman and stuff like that, this great underdog story, how it plays out, this and that. The problem you need to worry about is then what. So,
right,
it's great that you wrote this excellent conclusion to this great underdog story. But what happens after that? Do we have the confidence that creative is going to write a good title run for Sammy?
Well, so that's where I'm kind of thinking the same thing, where I'm like, I don't think, regardless of where Vince McMahon fits in or doesn't in this world, I don't think that WWE is going to build itself around Sami Zayn.
Right. And I don't think they're not going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that with Jey Uso either.
But I do think that they may do that around Cody.
They will.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that you have this built-in story with Cody chasing the championship that happens to have Roman Reigns in it.
Right.
And then you have this
Roman's
story,
occupied by this other story.
you have this story that needs Roman Reigns.
Right.
So the Cody story, I think, has enough to it, even with him coming back from injury and being gone for 7 months.
Right.
It's still a year build, more or less. I don't think you're going to get the mileage that you would have out of a Sami Zayn win, like as far as emotional investment from people. But I think that's the next best thing.
Yeah, but
that you're going to get.
But I think you give Cody the chance to be that face fighting champion, because they're gonna write good story for him.
Yeah.
I'm talking from watching and history and stuff like that. After these underdogs finally win titles, the way that they book them afterwards, it's hard to book a champion as an underdog.
Yeah.
Unless you make them the underdog again.
Right.
And quite frankly, the way that things were written, like, perfect example, Daniel Bryan. The way that was written and the way that played out after the fact was sad. It was like he was worried about Kane and his soon-to-be wife, and they're running away from Kane and driving away from the thing. It's like, that's not how you book a champion.
Right.
So that's why I'd be worried about Sammy winning the title from Roman. As much as I would have loved that story, what needs to be realized is this is not a story that has an end.
Right.
This is a story that has to keep going on for another 52 weeks this year and 52 weeks next year.
Those are the
so
arguments
so
I'm
forth.
hearing is just between Cody and Sammy. So my last question I'll ask you on this is, who do you think becomes a bigger star by getting the championship? Sammy or Cody?
Cody.
I agree, because I think Sammy is there. I think Sammy gets... As soon as he hit Roman with the chair, the crowd erupted.
Yeah.
And then, as Roman was beating on him, we got a "fuck you, Roman" chant.
The way that all played out, the heat that is on Roman. I mean, listen, when he came out, the way that the entrance went and everything, everybody had their fingers up.
Yep.
It was
That's what I'm saying.
hardcore, very much into Roman. I mean, if Owens wasn't so over, I think they would have been booing him.
I think so too.
But he's got too much goodwill and respect behind it.
I think so too.
And I think that's the same with Roman. But the second all that played out, and the fact that Roman walked away with that heat was chef's kiss.
Yeah,
Chef's kiss.
I don't think. That's what I was saying. I don't think Sammy needs to win the championship from him. I think their feud is not about that.
I agree.
Which makes it feel more personal.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. So it's you either have the title or you have personal fight.
And then it's an interesting place storyline wise for a writer. If I was writing it, and I was in charge of writing about where Roman's head is at, he has this personal issue, and then he has this challenger that just won the Royal Rumble that's coming up, that's going for a legacy, and he's split between these things that he's having to deal with, and I'd make him annoyed, and then losing it and frustrated and all these things.
This is where the wheels fall off.
That Roman can portray really well because he's great.
He's very good. Yeah.
I loved how they ended it. Yeah. I really did. I thought it was great. At first, I wasn't crazy about Sammy hitting him with the chair. Just the visual of it, where I was just like, I wonder if there was a different thing they could have had him do. But it was that take back to the Shield thing. It just reminded me of other things. But the way it played out from that, and as soon as the crowd roared after that, I was like, okay, that's why I don't write for wrestling.
Right.
It was just, man, you just got swept up in it, which I thought was great.
It was well done.
Yeah.
It was very well done.
Absolutely. So definitely up there in my top Royal Rumbles.
I agree. I agree. I know that there was a lot of people on social media canning it and panning it, whatever. But honestly,
that's what they do.
That is what they do. And I do think that, and this is me, I was down on WWE for a while, but this restored my faith in them. This storytelling, the match quality overall, everything made me. I'm a believer again.
Hey man, good TV is good TV. You can't argue with it.
Exactly.
That's what I think as well.
So thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, baby.
All the way. Thumbs up all the way. 2 bacons.
I love that. Yeah.
2 bacons up.
Yeah. Real quick, I do want to do super duper honorary mention because we did talk about it. Well, we talked about how we were going to talk about it in the episode earlier.
Right.
Commentary.
Totally the same day.
The commentary this year
awesome.
Was fantastic.
Awesome.
And I know that there are there are old school people who kind of think, oh, well, if you're not getting it over, getting people over in the ring and you're trying to get yourself over, blah, 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 blah. Listen, the dynamic between Cole, McAfee, and Corey Graves was fantastic, and it put me back in that, Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon era.
Corey Graves is bringing his best Heenan lately. He really is.
He's doing really well.
He really is.
And what I like about McAfee is I think that because he's Pat McAfee, he's not going to get in trouble.
I agree with that too.
So he brings out this other side, and then also he not that Michael Cole is awful or anything, but he humanizes him.
Yeah. Well, and I tell you what, Michael Cole with the quote, the cuffs off, so to speak, sounds way more natural.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And is great at his job. He's just super annoying when he's repeating the same things over and over again.
Because somebody's in his ear.
Yeah, it's probably stuff he's been telling him to do. I also, I did find out, the one thing that I will say that I learned since the Royal Rumble that I did not know then, that makes me like the commentary even more from that, was that Graves and Cole, neither of them
did not know
that McAfee was going to be there at all.
Yeah.
When they heard his music, that's when they first knew. So all that, when you heard them reacting to it, that was real in the moment reactions, and I feel like that set them up for the rest of the night to just be loose and be ready to go.
Yeah, well, I think from what I understand, the original creative was for him to come back during the Rumble.
Yes,
as a competitor.
He had told them that he wasn't going to be able to
Right.
get in shape in time, and he didn't
Yeah.
want to disrespect the Rumble.
Yeah,
So.
which is awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to the commentary,
Absolutely.
McAfee,
Cheers. Commentary.
Graves, Cole. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I really don't have any. I have little nitpicks from the Royal Rumble, but
Yeah,
man, like when you hit me with what were there 5 matches total, and when the 3 main ones that are anchoring the show are as good as they were, I'm in, man. You give me that percentage of thumbs up,
yeah,
and the others I didn't really have a thumbs down.
yeah. It wasn't, it was filler.
Yeah,
It was filler.
Exactly. Like
You don't. Yeah,
there were things I liked and didn't like about other aspects, but overall, man, like I don't expect any pro wrestling premium live event to be like my thing 100%. It's not gonna be. I like aspects of everything, but some I like better than others, and
it's everybody.
and I'm a nitpicky. I'm into the story. If you can draw me in and make me care, then I care. And if you don't act like a person would in the story, in the confines of the story you're telling, once you're in the ring, you lose me.
Okay.
So there's always going to be stuff like that.
All right. So before we sign off, one quick one.
Yeah.
Did you watch the post Rumble press conference?
Yes. I am a nerd.
In one sentence, tell me what you thought.
You know what? I didn't watch it front to back. I watched it in
Okay.
sections. So, I mean, the thing that stuck with me is Cody and Triple H were my 2 favorites of the people that spoke.
Yeah, I think it's awkward. I think it's awkward because nobody knows if they're gonna be honoring kayfabe or they're not honoring kayfabe.
Oh yeah. I guess if I watched them all together, I maybe would have got that.
Yeah, it was very weird in that
Bray's
way.
interview was interesting that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Rhea was happy and talking about how much she respects things and stuff like that, and then kind of slipped back into character, and it was just very weird. It was very weird.
I think any pro wrestling press conference type of situation like that, it's gonna be like that though, because you have to stay on both sides of that fence. If it's all kayfabe,
we can't all be CM Punk at a press conference.
well, we saw how that turned out.
I'm old. I'm fucking tired, and I work with a bunch of fucking children.
Yeah,
I used that.
I'm gonna eat these donuts and run down everyone in the company. You
Yeah.
know, like.
Yep. But yeah, it was very awkward to me, because it was like, again, that riding the kayfabe thing, and it was like, okay, it's cool, but also like, I don't know what I'm feeling.
I also think that that's partially on the press, though, because you need to ask questions that don't force them into kayfabe. Don't ask them storyline questions.
Well, I think the issue is that I'm sure
who are you going to pick, Rhea. Don't ask that.
Well, I think
because you know damn well she's going to pick who she's written to pick.
Right. I think the issue is that I think when they let you into a press room like that, you have restraints, you have handcuffs on, so you got to watch what you say.
Sure, but don't ask them about storyline stuff.
Right.
And then you won't get kayfabe answers.
Yeah. Yeah,
ask
makes sense.
You know, I think that's part of it. I think just as much as the wrestlers have an awkward way of navigating it, it's because they're being asked questions that force the issue.
Yes.
You know, and it's like you're not gonna get a scoop from these guys. Like, what do you think? What do you think this is? This is where this information is gonna come down, not on Raw. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No problem.
All right, sure. Ask your question inside the ropes. Like, shut up.
Oh man! All right. Well,
Sean Sapp.
let's.
He's actually a better one. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's
pretty
probably
good.
he's the best of the bunch.
He's pretty
for
good,
sure.
yeah.
Him and Raj from
yeah.
Wrestling Inc. All right, so excuse me. Thank you for joining us for this Royal Rumble recap.
Yeah, I hope you had fun.
We went a little long, and because we went like really in depth.
We're still trying to figure this out.
Maybe next time we because I wanted to touch on like old Rumble stuff. Like,
Right.
So maybe next year we like leading up to the Rumble, we do something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So yeah, we'll do that week of Royal Rumble.
We just need to not be so long-winded, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so maybe we'll be less long-winded, maybe not. But until then, find Mike.
Yeah, at me my own self, Mike. All the socials. At Something Heavy Music. We have a new single coming out this month, February, and we're gonna be actually, if you're a patron on Patreon, it is out now for you guys.
Cool. Patreon.com/baconismapodcast if you want to check it out and get it early, get in on all that stuff and help us out a little bit. You can find me at Jimmy G Shoes over on all the socials. My band Craving Strange at cravingstrange.net. That'll give you all the socials and all the stuff there as well. Our new song, Mean What You Say, is out now. It's been out for about a month. So check it out. Let us know what you think. And, be cool to each other.
Yeah.
Go through this world like the kind of person that offers someone a slice of bacon from your plate. That's how you should walk through life.
Yeah.
As a bacon concierge.
Wow. There should be more of those.
There should be more of those.
Like just in the world.
Yeah.
Just walking around randomly.
Right?
That would definitely be my bacon.
That would be my bacon.
You should let us know.
What your bacon is.
What's your bacon?